Good morning. Kenny Jacobs from Bloomington, Illinois. I need to get right into this. I have a lot I need to cover, and I don't want this video to get too long. And I just ask that you will watch this entire video. It's got a lot of important information in it. What I'm talking about today is that the world is primed and ready for the arrival of the Antichrist and false prophet. In fact, I believe the false prophet is already on the scene. And I want to go through some things and try to get you to realize some world developments that really tie into end-time Bible prophecy. Obviously, I've talked a lot about worldwide political unrest, worldwide economic struggles, worldwide religious conflict. I think that's what we're seeing happen right now with the rise of the false prophet and working toward a one-world religion right now. And we see the political unrest like what's going on in the Ukraine right now, and obviously in the Middle East. So the world is ready to accept somebody who appears to have all of the answers. The world is wanting peace. We hear every day about the peace agreement that they're trying to reach in the Middle East. And I've said many times that peace agreement will cause us to enter into the final 7-year period of time before Jesus returns, called the tribulation period. Now we're hearing lately, last few days, about how the FCC is wanting to start controlling what and how our news is delivered to us. Now, I don't think that's going to happen right away. I think there's way too much resistance for that at the moment. But it is going to happen, because you can't have a one-world totalitarian government without it. So it's definitely going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen right away. But as you can see, that's just another step in the direction that the world needs to go, and they're laying the groundwork for that as well. And what's interesting is this year the United States actually dropped to 46th in the world when it comes to freedom of the press. That's amazing. We're 46th in the world in countries, freedom of the press. We always think we have a lot of freedom over here, but as you can see, those freedoms are being taken away from us. Now, I still don't believe, I can't rule him out, but I still do not believe that Obama is the Antichrist. And I just don't believe that he's smart enough, and I don't believe that he's been successful enough as president. When the Antichrist finally steps on the scene, he's going to appear to have all the answers. And most people, I think, would now agree that Obama doesn't have all the answers. However, I still think he ties into it in two ways. I believe that he is here on this planet right now doing his job, which is to prepare the way for the Antichrist to arrive. Just like John the Baptist came to prepare the way for Jesus, the Antichrist has his own John the Baptist, and I believe that to be Obama. But what's interesting, too, is there's been a lot of talk over the last few years about Obama getting a third term. And I really think that may happen. But I don't know that his third term is going to be as President of the United States. And I'm going to explain that here in just a minute. And I'm going to tie in some scripture in Daniel and Revelation to what I'm telling you. But I believe that the mess that Obama has helped create during his presidency is forming the background for the onset of the one-world government. And I think that's why they're trying so hard now to get this peace agreement signed over in Israel. And so, I do believe that peace agreement is close. But I still think that somebody else is going to come on the scene and be the one to sign that treaty. But the way I'm tying Obama into the final end time period has to do with 10 divisions of the world and 10 kings that will rise. And I'm gonna have to go ahead and do some quick scriptural references, and then I'll finish up with some news and tie this in. But Daniel chapter 7 says, After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast dreadful and terrible, and strong and exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with its feet. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. 10 horns is very important. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. The little horn is the Antichrist, and it says he'll have a mouth speaking great things. Now, down farther in verse 24 and 25 of chapter 7 of Daniel, it says, And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. Again, that's the Antichrist coming along and subduing 3 of those 10 kings. Let's skip over to Revelation real quick. Revelation chapter 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the names of blasphemy. And it goes on to talk about the rise of this Antichrist, this beast. And then it talks also in verse 11, And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And that's the false prophet. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast. And he does great signs and wonders, so that he makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceives all them that dwell on the earth by means of these miracles. And then it goes on to say, he had power to give life unto the beast, the image of the beast, and he's going to cause all that will not worship the Antichrist or this beast to be killed. Now, how that ties into what's going on right now, we saw in Daniel and in Revelation that the beast would have 10, it'd be a 10 kingdom, 10 kingdom heads, 10 kings. Well, the Club of Rome has the world divided into 10 divisions, or 10 kingdoms. I'm going to give you a little background on the Club of Rome real quick. Club of Rome was created in 1968. Interesting, about the same time that Israel took over control of Israel, of Jerusalem, I should say. It was created in 1968 by the Morgenthau Group to create a new world order. The Club of Rome has a hidden agenda to divide the entire world into 10 regions or kingdoms. The Club of Rome was founded by members of the Morgenthau Group during a meeting at Rockefeller's private house in Italy. They claimed to have solutions for world peace and prosperity, which could be accomplished through a new world order. The Club of Rome was established with 75 prominent industrialists, economists, and scientists from 25 different nations. The Bilderberg Group and the Club of Rome are the most important foreign policy arms of the Round Table, which is led by the Committee of 300. Now, I'm going to post this article I'm reading from in the description box so you can see this yourself, and it shows you a map of the world and shows you where the 10 divisions are, but I'm going to run through them real quick. Here's the 10 kingdoms. North America, Western Europe, Japan, Australia and South Africa is one, Eastern Europe, Latin America, North Africa and the Middle East, Main Africa, South and Southeast Asia, Centrally Planned Asia. Those are the 10 kingdoms or divisions. And those 10 kingdoms or divisions will have a king over them that the Antichrist will work with and subdue 3 of them. My feeling right now is that Obama will be the king of the North American kingdom. Now, whether we still have a president at that time, I don't know. I don't know if there's still going to be a United States within that, or if it's just no more. But Obama, if there's going to be that division with North America, which, by the way, currently we have a Mero, which is a dollar or monetary method that covers all of North America, the euro. But my feeling is that we're that close, and that Obama, I don't believe him to be the actual Antichrist, but I do think he may be the king, one of the 10 kings. He would be the king of the North American division. And whoever they're working behind the scenes with, whoever's going to be able to pull off this peace agreement that they're working so hard to get right now, the one who brokers that agreement and signs it will be the Antichrist. Again, I want to remind you that Obama and Pope Francis are meeting in March, and the deadline for the peace agreement, the framework for the peace agreement they want to get signed is in April. And there's been some recent developments in the past week that looks like the Palestinians may be kind of coming to terms a little more with some of the demands that Israel has. There's definitely still a lot of issues with Jerusalem. But again, it looks like it could get pulled together. And keep in mind that the Antichrist and false prophet, although they're on the scene during the first 3.5 years of the final 7 years, they really do not fully take over, and the one world government isn't fully in place with the mark of the beast system until 3.5 years into the final 7-year period of time. And that period of time hasn't started yet. So a lot can happen, as you can tell from what goes on every few months now. A lot can happen in 3.5, 4 years, 5 years. I've said before, and I'll say again, that the Obamacare plan has an RFID chip. They call it, I believe, a Class 3 implantable device that will hold all of your records. And it's been pushed back. Not until they want to implant it in everybody by 2017. Which is basically 3.5 years from now. It is absolutely time to quit messing around. And time to wake up. Even if it doesn't happen right away, even if Jesus doesn't come back for another 10, 20, 30, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years, whatever, it's time to be ready because all the signs say it's happening now. Quit messing around. Come to Jesus if you don't know him now while there's still time. All the signs are here. Make sure you're ready and keep looking up. Our redemption is drawing near.